We're live?
Yeah. Isn't that something, how that
Yes, okay.
works?
Greetings and greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 34th installment of Bull Sitting on TSWS Gaming. This week, we have God of War Ragnarok failing to beat Elden Ring, but winning hearts and minds in a bid to win the Game of the Year. COD
Oh
of
my
War,
god.
COD Modern Warfare 2 continues to destroy Microsoft's argument for the insignificance of Activision and how its acquisition won't affect PlayStation in the long run. Video games save a NASCAR driver's year in the real world, and Sony proposes a way to stop scalpers by overcharging for PS VR 2. I'm your host, Loke7, and joining me today is Ham Solo.
Oh yeah,
Hello,
what up,
Ham.
brother?
And the recently minted 1,000 subscriber count YouTuber Cult Classic Cage. And as
Hey, what's good,
usual,
everyone?
the lovely Cozy Beluga.
Oh,
Showing up, showing her video game instead of who she is.
Why do they do
She's
this?
a real
Why
gamer.
does he do this?
Cozy's a real gamer. She's
It
not like
always-
us.
It always wants me to be on, like, I don't know why, and I never check it. I just like ignore the message it says when it's like, "Hey, this is the device we've picked up," and it always picks up my capture card. This is stupid.
And that is Cozy's entrance.
You know,
Like
thank you.
literally every freaking day. Before we partake in this week's session of digital savagery, Cozy, are you
Yes.
feeling rosé?
Yeah, but why is my I hate life?
Welcome,
Well,
hustle
geez,
and motivate.
You came so dang late. Now you're trying to get set up.
Jeez, man.
Dang.
Doing job things, okay? Or lack thereof job things. Oh, okay, my camera wasn't plugged in.
Okay.
Damn it.
Anyways,
Ham Solo, what have you been playing this past week?
oh man. As for what I've been playing, a lot of Persona. A lot of
Oh no.
Persona.
On
It's
Xbox.
still on. Yeah. It's still on my screen right here. I'm looking at it. It says the controller has been disconnected. Please reconnect your controller. So yeah,
Damn.
it is fresh. I am currently at July 7th in that game, and it's just been consuming the living hell out of me, bro. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's
Persona.
and as you know, look, I'm not into turn based, but this
Yeah.
story is very captivating to the point that I'm just like, whatever. Like, like it's cool, it's fine, whatever. But sometimes it's a little too much reading. Sometimes I feel like I'm reading a book before I even get to the battle.
It is a story, bro.
It's a lot of stories. Sometimes they're reading, or I mean, sometimes they're saying stuff, and sometimes you have to read all the subtitles because they just do that. Like, oh, and then like all the subtitles start like popping up on the screen. You have to read all that joint, and I mean, it's good game, but sometimes it's just like, can we just get to the point? And I know I can just hit start and skip it all, but it's like I don't want to like come up to the next scene and be like, what the hell's going on here, or something like that.
As long as
But-
it pays off, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so far the story has been paying off. The combat system's pretty interesting. I've been playing also Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which we'll be talking about that game a little bit in this podcast today. That story and that game is really interesting. It's pretty fun. The the multiplayer is where it's at. It's actually a really good time. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I just have been having such a hard time pulling myself away from Persona
Having a good
to actually play it because Call of Duty is kind of a long game as to where I just want to get done with Persona before I forget about it because I don't want to come back and play that game in 6 months.
Ooh, one
You're
and
not gonna
done.
remember what you're doing.
It is a one and done.
I
That game's too
mean,
damn long for it not to be a
no
one and
one's gonna
done.
be playing like a 90-hour game again. Like, man, I really want to experience this 90-hour game again. I mean, some people do, but nah, that's a lot.
Okay, Cage, what have you been playing this past week?
So it's been a lot of Call of Duty. That game, it's one of those things where it's like Call of Duty just is what it is at this point to me. There is a lot of bullshit with Call of Duty, but at the end of the day, like I'm hitting my friends up, we in a lobby, we killing shit. There's a lot. Every time we die, it's always some BS. Like I don't care what anyone says, it's always someone cheated. But it's a fun time. It's you guys just brought up that it's sold an insane amount, like the most yet, I guess. So
We'll get to
I
that.
mean,
We'll get to that.
yeah, the fact that it has sold so well, a lot of my buddies have it. I'm kind of low key hoping that they'll my other friends will also bite the bait and come through. And I just started Bayonetta 3 like a couple of days ago. I have mixed feelings on it. Honestly, I have a lot of criticism for the original voice actress, Helena Taylor, but it's sad that her voice is very much missed for me as a longtime fan of the franchise. But it's I'm like hoping it does get better, but I'm still like on chapter 2, so I'm gonna definitely be playing that a lot more this weekend. Hopefully, it picks up for me.
Okay. Cozy, what you been playing?
Slay the Spire, Trek to Yumi,
Ooh,
Overwatch, and Mass Effect.
how do you play all
See,
these
I
games?
added something new to the mix.
Yes, you did. I'm shocked. I was about
I'm
to
jealous
say
that you're juggling so many games because that's usually what I
Yeah.
like to do. That's usually what I like to do, and Persona has ruined juggling
Well,
games for
I'm
me
I'm
for
on
right now.
hold until I'm on hold for anything until Pentiment, because I'm not trying to start anything that's going to take a lot of my time, other than
Pentiment
like
looks like it's
multiplayer.
gonna be a lot of reading. Like a lot.
I
reading.
don't care. You had me at Murder Mystery RPG.
Okay.
All right. I've been playing what's it called? Plague Tale. Very
Oh, you finally
Very
got
You're
to
a
that.
fake gamer.
yeah. I finally got through with the audit at work. So now I'm a normal person. And it's a very nice game.
That's questionable.
But I saw
Lies.
whatever.
Lies. You are not a normal person just because you do that. You're
I saw a whole bunch of
still a
people-
weird person in Texas that claims to be in Africa.
Don't even
You're still
start.
that guy. So let's not get off and start saying that
You know what?
you're a
If you can
normal
find me
person
one
all of a
Texan-
sudden. You're full of shit.
If you can find
You're
me
not
one
normal.
Texan, if you can find me one Texan that can pull off my accent, that guy needs a job.
I'm pretty
in
sure you
Hollywood.
can find plenty that can pull
I
off
mean,
your
I
accent.
see one
See?
on this podcast right now, and
Yeah.
he is the
Whatever.
Texan.
Point is, I saw a lot of people talking about Plague Tale needs to be a Game of the Year contender. Settle the hell down, guys. It's a good game. Just leave well enough alone, okay? Don't jump the gun.
Have you beat it already?
No, I still haven't beat it.
What chapter
but,
are you on, young man?
7, I think.
Okay,
I'm
you
on
ain't
pace.
even you're not even in the woods quite yet, bro. You still running around on the dirt road. You wait until you
Total
get you
chapters
wait
are
until
there?
you get into the woods. That game
How many chapters are there?
there's like 17.
What?
Yeah, bruh. The fan really starts to spinning around 10.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Fine. You know what? God of War is only coming out on Wednesday. I'll power through it. Let's get it started, ladies and gents. God of War 94 Metacritic.
Fantastic. Let's go. Excited to play it. Game of the year, right? Is that what you wanted to hear, Loke?
No. Why do you always assume that I'm always gonna be on PlayStation side? Jesus.
Because look at you. Look
hey.
at you right now. All the blue, on, you
No,
know, I mean, you got the Xbox box sitting on top of the PlayStation one, but look what's closer to the candle, like it's a sweet like lullaby you trying to give it right now. And then you got that PlayStation controller on top of the Xbox just to reclaim its dominance because you don't want to, you don't want. Oh my goodness! Don't cut the cap, bro. Cut the
is that
cap.
better? Is that better?
Cut the cap.
Ham, settle down. Let's get through this. Let's get through the show. Cage. First off, do you care about Metacritic scores? Second, are you bummed, or do you think it matters that God of War couldn't beat?
Pause, Loke. Pause, because you didn't
Elden
even
Ring.
ask our guests. You didn't even ask our guests the usual questions.
Oh damn! Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
What are you doing,
rude.
sir?
Ooh,
My
they're
bad.
holding you to
Failure.
account, sir.
Failure. Like
Man, I got the
you
knife
are
to
not.
I got the knife to
Wow.
Loke's throat
Thanks, Ham.
this evening.
Because I was late and I thought I missed something, but that's just
Jeez.
rude. Look,
Cozy.
I swear.
Okay. Can I? Jeez. All right, Cage. Now
Yep.
that the animals are in their cage,
Oh,
Oh, shit.
disrespectful.
I've got a few questions for you. First, what's the current best console, and why? What's the greatest video game of all time, and what's the best console of all time? Go.
Oh shit.
Yes. No sitting on the fence. You have to pick one
Shit.
She wants to say
So
PC,
the
but she
best
can't.
console.
console.
You're
No,
not
you
wrong,
don't do
sir.
PC.
You're not wrong, sir. Best console of all time is probably the easiest for me. That's the PS2.
Oh,
The
this
library
one
is
gets it.
insane.
She
The
gets it.
library is insane. It's definitely that's when I was really like heavy into gaming, so that definitely leans into it. Greatest video game of all time?
Yes. You
Shit.
can't pick a franchise. You have to pick one specific.
One specific game. Wow. That's rough. You guys dumped a load on me. I'll
That's
have to
what-
go with
that's
recency
crazy.
bias.
What?
Here's recency bias at its best because it's the first thing that came to mind. It probably isn't true when I really think about it, but for me, Dragon Quest 11 is like fucking amazing. Like it is
good take.
it is an amazing game.
Solid
it-
take.
There is I love the art style as a Dragon Ball fan, inspired by Akira Toriyama. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a beautiful world, and it makes me super hyped for Dragon Quest 12. And that's a game that, even though it's a pretty long RPG, I'd say it's about 60 to 70 hours. I'm planning to replay it again very soon. So that
It's a very
and
smooth
that's-
game.
It really is. It's one of those games where you could really just play that for hours and not feel like it's overwhelming. There is some challenges. There's some good boss battles. There's a variety of enemies that I really enjoy, and it leans into tradition, man. Dragon Quest is tradition, and I think that's what I value about Dragon Quest the most. It's always stuck to its guns while also changing things up to modernize a bit, but they respect the core franchise, and that's what I love about it. And I guess the best console right now, based on library, I'd probably have to go with the Switch, if I'm completely honest. If that is considered, that's
The
best year, too.
Say what?
Oh my
I
god.
yeah. Can you deny the library? Look, I understand the power isn't there.
Looks
There's some
disgusting.
games that I wish were on PC. Don't get me wrong, but you can't deny the library. You can't deny how much it's sold. I have quite I think it's also a valuable thing to say, the fact that if I was to be homeless tomorrow, the first thing I would sell is my Switch games, and pretty much all of them will hold their value, unlike pretty much all the other platforms. So I wouldn't be very
Damn.
homeless. So
Shade.
it's facts, man. Like if I buy a
It's the only
PlayStation
console
game,
with value.
it's not going to hold its value like Switch games do. I think that's an important thing. A lot of people don't see it
That
that
is
way,
true,
but I'm a
too.
very physical
Yep.
collector, and to me that's important. Like I know my Switch games are gonna still be worth a damn in years to come. So
That
That is
was a
facts. That
solid
is
take
solid
right there.
at slate.
Because I can't.
The most
I mean, you can't
diverse
even
library
deny
this
that.
year.
Because what you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with that God of War? What is it called? Like Joner or something like that, or
No, you can
whatever
sell
that
the goodies,
edition.
but the game
So,
itself is not gonna.
but check this out, Cozy. The game is digital when you buy that whole pack. You get
Oh,
a
really?
disc that's empty.
Yes.
As a physical media collector,
Oh.
you know how fucking insulting that shit is? Like, the whole point,
Wait,
the
what?
whole point of collector's editions is for people that appreciate physical media.
So
There's
I
no
think it's
physical
because.
copy.
So it makes sense, and I think it's because then they'd have to make one for the PS4 too. They don't. Their games
No,
don't have the same SKU.
It's really because in the grand scheme of things, there's a digital PS5 out there. So people that pre-order get the collector's editions, some of them wouldn't be able to actually play the game if it was a physical copy. So that's really what it boils down to. Damn it, digital consoles. I low-key hate you so much.
Wow. You know what really hurts about that take, Ham? I
That it
have
was
no
that.
comment
It just hurts, right? It just
'cause it's
hurts.
true. It's true. Like for real, both these consoles, like, damn. Okay, let's move on because I can't start the show with so many L's. Cage,
That's the story of your
settle down.
life, though.
Just settle down.
Ooh.
Let's
Cage,
just living
God of War
that
94
Westbrook life.
Metacritic. Uh,
What's up, look?
I'm saying God of War got a 94 on Metacritic. Do you think it's a big loss for God of War that they couldn't beat or at least match the Elden Ring score of 96?
So, personally, I think it's important for me to note, I think Metacritic is a bunch of bullshit. I think most of the critics that have weight on Metacritic, most of them probably can't even play video games anyway, and they have yet to prove me wrong. So I
Oh.
really, when people talk about this number, like that's why when I do reviews on stuff, I don't give anything a number. To me, the number is worthless. It's the breakdown of what makes this thing that I'm reviewing
Thank you.
good. So to
Beautiful.
look at a number, I think is in some ways offensive to the piece of entertainment itself. It's judged by a number. I don't like that concept at all. I want to go read or listen to why something is good or why something is bad and base it on the merits of that.
So
So
do you
to
have a
me,
problem with
Metacritic is garbage. I wish that the gaming community wouldn't concentrate so much on it as they do. Mostly it's just for the console wars. I get it, but it doesn't really hurt God of War that it got 2 points less than Elden Ring. They still seem to be Elden Ring seems to be a solidified classic, no doubt, in the future. And God of War seems like, at least from a quality perspective, that it's also going to be a solidified classic. So, and that's great. I think it's really good that we're getting some really highly praised and beloved games this year. So, um, I just want more companies to compete with them. Can we get more fighters, more people that are more companies that are trying to hit these marks in terms of achievement in gaming? So
Oh Lord, you see retro? You see retro in the chat?
Boy,
He's
Yeah.
tripping.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. You can go ahead and read that, Ham. I have a
oh my,
contract.
big
Okay.
X.
No. He just said God of War gets my Ragnarok hard.
Wow.
That's
Wow, sir.
boy,
That
Sir.
was
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah, that's a name for it. That's a name for it. Okay, Cozy. God of
Yes.
War 94 Metacritic.
Good for God
Uh,
of War. That's all I have
what?
to say. I have no interest in it. So good for God of War.
Should I just skip you for the rest of the stuff that has to do with God of War?
Yeah.
Okay, Ham Solo, God of War 94 Metacritic, go.
I mean that's exciting to see. I beat the first one. I'm gonna beat this one. I'm probably gonna treat it very similarly. After I get done beating it, I'll move on. I'm wondering how long it'll take me to beat it, and I'm also wondering like if it'll grab me the same way or better than the first one. The thing that kind of gets me interested in seeing this score being the exact same as the previous one, I think that tells me that the game is clearly better than the last one, because usually a second edition or like
A sequel.
a sequel, thank you, a sequel to a game gets a a, a a few points lower than the last one, like by a point, maybe two, sometimes a lot more. R.I.P.
Even when
to
it's objectively
Devil May
better.
Cry 2.
Yeah.
But
No, but like even games like nowadays that are objectively superior to the original, like I think personally, I'm not a Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West fan, but I can look at Forbidden West and say that that game looks objectively better in pretty much every aspect, and it got a lower Metacritic. This is why Metacritic's just a dumpster fire. I'm sorry, it
Okay,
just makes
okay,
no
I have to
sense.
defend Metacritic here, not because journalists write there or whatever, but I listen. As human beings, we have a craving for symmetry, regardless of the fact that we are not very symmetrical ourselves. Everything that we have created or strived for is always in line with symmetry, and that's why everything we try and create an order or hierarchy. Whether you agree with that or not, right? It's just something that we do as a species. So Metacritic specifically is the closest that we've come to creating an evaluation structure. It's not the best, it's not perfect, but it's what we have. This is not because I would one day like to be one of the people voting on Metacritic or anything like that. I'm just saying it's what we do, and Metacritic's the best one that we have right now. So you guys want to destroy me? Go ahead.
I think
You're
there's
not
anything
wrong.
wrong. Yeah, that's not a wrong opinion. I think my thing is I think Metacritic is good for people but people invest too much in that. And I guess people can't help that because humans are, natural herd creatures kind of. They're social creatures. They are going to most
They?
humans naturally defer to some sort
They?
of
You just
yes.
said they, referring to
I, I,
human?
I'm not human. I am an automaton. But it's natural to need guidance and defer to some sort of like authority of some sort for where you get your opinions from. That's normal. But so in the grand scheme of things, Metacritic is good for that. I just don't care because if I listen to other people for my enjoyment, I probably wouldn't have a lot of fun. Like if a game is rated high on Metacritic, I don't like most of those anyway. So when people are like, "Oh, this Metacritic score," I'm like, I probably won't
We're
even
kind
like
of
it.
the same way. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't really get into like super. I guess I kind of reject things that are considered like mainstream. I don't know why. It's just that's why my name is Cult Classic
Non-conformer.
Cage. I love cult classic things. Like that's
Do
honestly
you,
some of my favorite stuff. Period.
do you think
So
it's because things that are mainstream are and the ones that get a lot of critical praise, it's because a lot of times you don't really get a critical praise for being unique, for being different, for being creative outside of the box. And if you're drawn to sort of like the novelty and like people who have like a create a thing that's like completely different is like, do you think that has something to do with like the way you are like,
yeah, I think so. I think like the main reason why is because things that tend to be mainstream tend to be for a wider audience that isn't about gaming, for example, the same way I'm about gaming. Like and there's some mainstream things that I do get into. Like I do enjoy Fortnite. I do enjoy Call of Duty. Would I love like a new Killzone entry that's more like niche to what I'm into? Yeah, I would, but that doesn't exist, so I'll settle for what it does exist right now. So that's kind of just the reality of the
Rip.
situation. But in terms of Metacritic, I would value it more if I thought that like the websites that are on there actually had validity. To me, I just don't think journalistic websites do have any validity anymore. Over the past, I'd say about like 6 or 7 years, they've kind of lost touch with gamers. A lot of them seem, in my opinion, to resent the gaming community and resent gamers. So based on that, I just can't give them any validity. I don't want to, and I don't frankly think they deserve it.
Okay. Hi, it's me, Patrick. Um, Retro brings up a good point. He says Open Critic is good too, but I tend to make my purchase based on my own eyes. You know what I like and don't. Yeah, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. Okay, real quick. 2018 God of War passes an incredible sales milestone. So the game sold 3 million copies in its first 3 days of being available on PC, and now God of War has surpassed 23 million copies between PC and PS4. God of War now stands with The Last of Us, Horizon, and the Uncharted franchise as PlayStation's most prized gaming IPs. Will this short-term gain, Cage, this one's for you. Will this short-term gain with PC sales convince Sony to maybe shorten the amount of wait time between console releases and then PC release?
Um, I really think it just depends on how they can, the amount of time and resources it takes to get the game ported to PC. I would hope that they do hold back if the game isn't ready, instead of launching a buggy game that, like, for example, when Horizon Zero Dawn launched on PC, it was kind of messy. Could have been a lot better, but they fixed it, so that's definitely good on their part. They didn't just let it be what it was. So I think that accounts, like, that's most important. I would hope that quality control is of as much importance on PC as it is, on PlayStation. So if, these games have a desire, like if the PC community really wants them, I'm sure they're going to be baited into bringing it to them quickly. We still don't have a release date for the Last of Us remake on PC, which is kind of weird because it kind of seemed like they were going to release it sort of close in comparison to previous games. But I think it really depends also on sales in general. If
Mhm.
some games aren't selling quite as enthusiastically as they thought, maybe that would encourage them to port it sooner. Because at the end of the day, it's like we got to make these numbers in capitalism, right? So that there's different things to take into account. So
Yeah.
Because you want to
Oh
jump
no, I
in?
was gonna say yeah. I was just agreeing. Agreeing.
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry. I've had like 5 cups of coffee.
Yes. Herd mentality for you right there. Ham Solo, 2018 God of War passing 23 million thanks to PC sales. Does this mean we're going to get Ragnarok on PC in less time?
um, no, not based on that. I think it's more or less just based on the current edition of God of War and how it sells. If it sells like gangbusters on on PS5 for the next 6 months, you could see God of War not coming out until like maybe 2024 around the same time or possibly even later. But if sales drop off here in like mid-January from God of War, which I don't really see happening because they're going to probably start bundling it as well, which I think they already started doing.
Yes, they already did started.
Yeah, so I think that it's not going to drop off anytime soon. But if it did, I think you would see God of War maybe late 2023 on PC. But that's just going based off of my own personal opinion, really. I think Sony is really more or less testing games to see, how long can we get away with just getting people onto the PlayStation 5 first and foremost, and then going back and saying, "Oh yeah, we sold pretty much as we possibly can, or as much as it looks like we're going to sell." Um, let's go on ahead and throw it on PC, so it's a new release, seemingly, even though it's a game that's already came out somewhere else, and it'll revive that God of War hype, and I think people will start buying it on both PC and PlayStation pretty tough after they come out with it on PC again. I think they're really using that PC drop as like almost like an adrenaline shot.
To get people psyched and maybe get someone like Cage to think about buying a PS5 and be like, if I had so
Well,
much
she already
fun
has a PS5, I
with
think.
I have two.
You
Yeah,
have
yeah,
two
that's
PS5.
right. She
Oh,
has two of them things.
Yeah.
She's out of her mind.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Look,
point
I'm the
out.
You're not
fanboy.
wrong.
I'm Solo. I'm the fanboy. She has two PS5. I'm the fanboy.
I was really geared up for PS5 back before it came out. And I was like, I pre-ordered two of them because if they would have canceled my pre-order for one of them, I was gonna be pissed. So
I did the same
that was
thing
how
on
serious I
accident,
was.
but I was silly and canceled my second order. I should have kept that joint and sold it for like a G, but I didn't.
Yeah, you should have.
Okay.
I should have too, to be honest with you.
I
But
think something.
to be honest though, I'm where's Ghost of Tsushima on PC? Like this is the shit that I like just doesn't. I'm waiting forever. I feel like I will be waiting for the rest of my life here.
I think they're
You have a
trying to. They're
PS5.
working on it, but they don't
Okay,
have
go
the
ahead, go ahead,
resources
go ahead.
to do that. Like they don't have the resources to do that. Like just like make sure that they have those level of ports. And I agree with Ham where it's like the injection of it's like about an adrenaline shot. But I think that's the end of the day. We are all enthusiasts. All of us here are enthusiasts. A lot of the PC market, even a lot of the dedicated gamers, aren't going to be multi-platform. They're just going to be PC gamers. And I think, you have to remember that PC gamers in general tend to be patient. And so it's like weird to see like, oh yeah, this could be like them adrenaline shot trying to see how many more people they could get into the PlayStation. But a lot of PC gamers aren't going to switch platforms because they are stubborn. They are patient. So once you give them that taste of like the games are coming here, you know what? They know they can wait it out. Like PC gamers will wait it out for decades for things, years.
And I can see why. Because I don't have a PC, but PC has the biggest library of games. Like no other platform has more games than PC. Like you can literally have millions of games to play before you can find time to play God of War. So I can see why the PC crowd is like, don't worry, I'll be here in 2030, no problem. Okay, so we're done with God of War, the failed attempt to beat Elden Ring's Metacritic score. Let's see if they can beat Elden Ring at the Game Awards. Next, we have Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 smashes the previous setting for opening weekend launches in the entire franchise, right? So this from Game Rant. Modern Warfare 2 was released on October 28th, 2022 and has delivered the largest opening weekend in franchise history, with through sales topping 800, again I say $800 million US dollars in the first 3 days of sales. The previous 5-day record set by 2011 Modern Warfare 3 of $775 million has already been surpassed, giving Modern Warfare 2 the biggest entertainment opening of the year. Just to give some context of how big this is, they outdid Top Gun, Maverick, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness combined box office opening months. Alongside this, Modern Warfare 2 set new player participation records for the number of unique players and hours played during its first 3 days. Cage, with all these records broken, why isn't Call of Duty being considered for Game of the Year in the gaming community?
Because it's like a franchise that's rinse and repeat. It's like it's hard to consider. Maybe hell. To be honest with you,
Let me
I'm
stop you there.
interested in seeing.
Sorry,
This
Cage.
is the
Let me stop
first.
you there. Let me
Go
stop you
for
there.
it.
You said they can't be considered because it's rinse and repeat. Can we say that God of War should also not be considered because it falls literally into your group of rinse and repeat?
Well, I think that the difference between them is simply because people end up missing God of War because it's been a little while since the previous one, right? So, I mean, people don't really miss Call of Duty at any point. So
COD, COD could run for Game of the Year if they waited 5 years between releases.
maybe, yeah, the
Okay.
desire would be pretty high for it. I think that honestly, if they did, that's why I was gonna say I was interested to see the response to the next Call of Duty because they're finally taking a year hiatus, which is like the first time since the first time it came to to console, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, man. We've had a Call of Duty release every single year for most of our lives on the consoles. So
Pretty much. Pretty much.
yeah, I
So
wonder if the series will be missed for this year hiatus. It's only
have you
1 year,
have you
but
played,
that's a big deal.
have you played Modern Warfare 2?
Yep. Yeah, I've been
And
having fun with it.
the
It's
like
good for what it is. Excuse me?
what do you think about it?
To me, it's not terrible, but it's also kind of just feels like Call of Duty. um, I just don't really see. And it's weird because it's like, why isn't Call of Duty like Game of the Year in my mind? And it's because it's like, for example, I actually really enjoyed Cold War. It had multiplayer, it had zombies, it had a single player, and it has everything that you could have wanted in a release. But did I even consider Cold War Game of the Year contender? No, I guess it's my bias. I can't really sit here and say that that's fair. Um, but I just don't see it that way for whatever reason.
Wow. Ham Solo, how do you feel about these sales for Call of Duty? This is before microtransactions are considered. We're just talking about the $60 sales for the base game. Over 800 million. Go.
So excuse me, I was on camera because I was talking to my daughter real
Uh huh.
quick, uh, but uh, but as for are you asking about like them not being considered for Game of the Year? Like, is that the question?
Two-part question. So first, how do you feel about the fact that they sold so much in 3 days? And also, why aren't they considered Game of the Year? Contender, sorry.
Well, they sold so much, just because I mean, I I'm I'm kind of going a little bit against what Cassie just said, but it's because people were hungry for it.
What?
People
What
were
is
hungry
the
for
part?
Call of Duty, and I think part of it is like them being hungry for the nostalgia of what Call of Duty was. And when you slap on a title like in Modern Warfare 2, most people aren't really thinking about what the new gameplay looks like. A lot of people are thinking about the gameplay that they had previously on Modern Warfare 2. So, they got to get it because it's a new Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is dope from, a casual standpoint. And then second of all, they got they got in the title Modern Warfare 2, which is like last time that hit the scene, that was controversial.
Yeah.
So there's that as well. And then on top of it, a lot of people seen some of the the story and how that looks, and Call of Duty, as of the last few iterations of it, they've been going mega realistic in them games. So people want to push their console, whether it's last gen or this gen. They want to pull it. They want to see it pushed to the maximum, and Call of Duty kind of makes you feel that way if you are more or less a casual gamer. You feel like, oh man, this is the next gen. This is insane. This is nuts. So yeah, so everyone's gonna run to that and want to play it because of it's Call of Duty. But as for why it's not the game of the year, I think it also I'm gonna agree with Cassie. Now I'm gonna agree with her on the exact same thing. Although people are hungry for Call of Duty, people are much more hungry for something that they couldn't have for a long time. Right? So I can wake up every morning and be hungry for my cereal and get it. But when somebody says, yo, we going out to your favorite restaurant that serves the dopest breakfast, it's just a different feeling that you get. And it's not that I'm saying Ragnarok is like the dopest of all games. It's just that I'm saying that this is a change. This is a change from the regular. I'm used to waking up every morning and expecting and wanting this. But this specific morning, I get to wake up and get something that never is usually around. That I usually have to like wait till like my wait every 3 years for that birthday to get to, because the family can't get out that way. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Is like, man, like you get this all the time, even with Call of Duty taking its break of what was it, like 2 years or something like that?
It's gonna take a 1-year hiatus.
So 1 year, a 1 year hiatus is still doesn't even scratch the weight that you had for Ragnarok. You see what I'm saying? So even if you're hungry and saying, man, Call of Duty is coming out, but even if you sat around and waited, you're still going to get a Call of Duty in a couple years compared to God of War. That's let's go back and say it's 2018. You didn't know when the hell you're going to see God of War again. So when you seen it pop on the screen, you're just like, whoa, pause. I already knew Call of Duty was coming out. That's cool. I know that. But this is coming out this year? That's the difference right there, Loke. And then and that's why that's why something like God of War is God of War, Elden Ring, and many other games get considered way highly over a Call of Duty because of that. But then also when it comes to just the new feel, even though a lot of this stuff from God of War is kind of copy and paste from 2018, I remember J-Rock and other people within the community showing the same exact animations from one game to another. So yes, it is a lot of a copy and paste, sure, but the sense of newness is just reeking with God of War compared to a new mode in Call of Duty, which 9 times out of 10, we figure out those new modes in Call of Duty are for are for a crowd, to where God of War is molded for everybody, and it's a rare occurrence when it shows up.
I think it's also like a big thing worth noting that when it comes to like a God of War, there's more of like an artistic perspective that's taken with a game like that, whereas Call of Duty is more of just a money game. If we're like, there's games that I think are truly art, and then there's games that's just like it's there for the cash grab, and I understand it. Some of them, I give into, and some of them I just annoy the shit out of me to the point where I don't even want to look at them. But
Wait, so
that
COD is
and
not art.
well, in a sense, to me, all video games are art, but we have to come to the
Well done.
reality that there are games that take an artistic perspective and other games that don't really see themselves in that way, in that light. And I think and another thing to add to the conversation is that I haven't met one person that hasn't said Call of Duty's peak hasn't already peaked. Most people point that's why a lot of these newer Call of Duties are being called remakes now. It's because people look back on the original Modern Warfare and they appreciated that a lot more than what they've been coming out with the past 5+ years. And same thing with Modern Warfare 2019. There's a reason why these games are being either like recycled or the names are being reused. It's because Call of Duty has in fact seen its best days in the past.
Okay, let's quickly jump to the chat before Cozy tells us why she absolutely loves COD. Retro says 70 for the base game. Yes, quick correction here from Retro. It is $70, not 60. Welcome Dre, welcome Arshus. Google Poll says, but Warzone will be played more and make more money. Dude, that's what's blowing my mind right now. This is just the base game. We haven't even started with the microtransactions. This is
Yep.
insane. They're
Well,
making
to be fair, it's the base game and like what is it, the gold edition that's like $30 more or something like that.
Yeah. Osha says, yeah, but Ham, it's just another PlayStation daddy. Sim, come on. No
None.
console wars in the chat.
Wait, is he calling me a
Google
PlayStation simp? I love how that
Dude,
works.
Google Post says, as much as we don't care for COD, people still love to play it. Sentinel COD isn't bad. It's just not revolutionary. But guys, what is wrong with a perfected system?
Experience.
What is wrong with that? I don't understand.
Well, why is it that it's not as good as the 360 and PS3 Call of Duties? How is that?
Because those are more
perfected?
novel.
How do we gauge that? The first time is always the best time. Okay? But even if you represent it, it's still the same thing being represented or like consumed for the second time. So
As I said earlier,
how can it be objectively inferior if it's the same thing but like with better graphics? That's what I don't understand of this argument
as I said earlier, Loke, like straight up, like Call of Duty is the LeBron James of
that's
gaming.
better than it's better than your analogy on cereal. I disagree with that analogy, but if you say it's the LeBron James, yes, it's the Michael Jordan.
It is.
It is objective.
It is because you can be.
People don't think it because it's always the best.
Exactly, you can be the best that there is, the most gross product, but like I feel like if we're keeping it honest, like people like to see as much as people don't like to see change, people need to see change. So you're not gonna always see, just because LeBron is killing it in the league and he's going for the scoring title, he has the best stats. That's why he doesn't always get like player of the year every single year, because people need to see something else. People need to open their eyes to more than just one thing. And I think it'd be really boring if like the best game of the year was based on the most sold game every year. So with that being said, though, that also muddies the water, right? That muddies the water on what is truly the creme de la creme. You know what I mean? So when you like and then also to put a little side note onto that, these games are coming out in different time periods. So it'd be different if God of War came out the exact same time as Elden Ring. I think if that happened, God of War would be in trouble. To be honest. I honestly think if God of War and Elden Ring came out at the exact same
Hey,
time,
what
it would have
freaking
got it would have got Horizoned.
What?
So I think I kind of agree with that, and here's why. God of War appeals
What?
to people who already like God of War.
Mm.
It does not. Elden Ring was, like, I said this already. I've said this many times. Elden Ring was literally, I saw people, I'm like, I don't think you'll like that game. I would straight up be like, you don't like that game. You don't like these kinds of games. And I saw people not only buy Elden Ring, but enjoy it and play through it and feel like, great. And like, now I'm going to try something completely different when I play through it again. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry I told you that you wouldn't like it, because they would never play Dark Souls or any of those. But then they hopped on Elden Ring, and it was a game that got people who don't like those games to play that game. I kind of think that is a feat in and of itself, to get people who aren't already going to like what you have to like it.
I think it's also worth noting with God of War 2018 though that game that franchise redefined itself to reinvigorate itself, because like God of War Ascension was kind of like God of War had reached its peak and Ascension was them going down at that point. And then
That was rough.
they took
That's funny that
2018
their
and
name is
just
Ascension, but they descended.
descended. Yeah,
descended.
it's the irony of it all, right? And I think that is a big thing to note with God of War 2018. But you know, it is one of those things where it has redefined itself. Now, can Ragnarok somehow take it to the next level? That's yet to be seen.
Okay, so I have a quick repost for everyone here.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone's agreeing that sales shouldn't dictate game of the year, but I think it's a valid criteria to use, not as like the foundation of it, but I think it should be analyzed, because, and this is now us talking about social media as a whole and Twitter. You notice how there's like shows or movies that trend on Twitter because of the message and all that other stuff, because people have their own agendas, but they don't sell. And then you have shows or movies or games or whatever that they don't trend, but they sell like gangbusters. For example, Pokemon, etc. For me, I think it definitely matters how a game sells, because like you said, Cage, it is an art form, right? And what better way to judge the quality of said art than the amount of people that sat down and said, oh, this is worth my money? I'm not saying that low-selling games are not good games. I'm talking about right now, the foundation of discussion is game of the year, like the best game. For me, I think this criteria is it's worth looking at and giving it like at least like 20% weight when we're deciding which game is the game of the year, because sales are the real voice of the people. Am I talking
I
shit?
mean, I
Hold on.
to give a little pushback.
Hold on. Before you guys push back, let's go to the chat real quick. Sentinel says it's not perfected. Now some enemies are bullet sponges. Talking about COD with body armor, FKN ridiculous. Gogopo, I'm okay with COD being popular. The money it makes is being used to make more games, or at least I'm hoping it. No, they're buying a new yacht for Bobby Kotick, I think. Mr. Too Opinionated, it's not flawless
Yikes.
like the OG. It's still great. Dude, nothing is flawless. We as human beings are flawed, so anything we create will be flawed. Even straight lines. Sentinel is applauding Cozy. Facts Cozy. Gogopo, I like how third-person action is done in Last of Us 2. Should be examined by a lot of developers. It's so good to me. Hey, Stankmore, you're late, but welcome. And yeah, okay. Osha says, Lord, tell that to the Red Dead 2, a game that was better than God of War 2018 on every metric, went on to sell like 5 times more than God of War, yet still lost Game of the Year. Yes, true. That's
Well,
why, for me specifically, Game of the Year is not the one that the critics pick. Game of the Year is the one that the fans vote on. Now for the pushback on my sales point. Cage, go ahead.
Well, so like, we are, into gaming more than the general audience is. Like, we actually do consider video games to be art. Now, the mainstream audience sees gaming, I think, as a toy at most. So it's like all these games that sell super well, like hit the highest numbers. I mean, you can consider that a point of why the game should be game of the year, but the people that are buying these games in mass don't even consider it art. They're just consuming a toy for a lot of At least that's how I I can't put myself in that. That's how I assume they
Very
think, but
inclusive. So the
someone
hardcore
that buys
opinion
Call
is
of
more
Duty,
valid than the
hold on
random.
1 second. 1 second. The person that buys Madden, 2K, GTA 5, and the latest Call of Duty every year is not going to see gaming in an art form like how I do personally. We can't relate.
yep.
Okay, so a quick pushback on that one. All the Dark Souls games were very niche. The marketing for Elden Ring was weak, but that game was so good, so freaking good. It outsold every single Dark Souls game put together.
Yep,
So,
it's true.
that argument for me at least, I also had that train of thought that you have. But when that happened with Elden Ring, it hit me, guys. A great game is a great game. No matter what happens with your CODs, your FIFAs, and all this other stuff, if the four of us are developers and we make a kick-ass game, it's gonna sell like gangbusters. People will buy it, people will play it, and that is the end of the story.
That is not quite true. It has to get in, I think, the hands of the right people for it to sell. But because there are a lot of great like games that are legit hidden gems, and it's like, what? No one played this game? But I do agree that a great game is a great game no matter what. And if you're looking at like those big games, like when you said Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, those are games that are just, those aren't games as an art. Those are just games as like a time waster. I mean, not just like, oh, they're a waste of time, but I mean, they're like just the games that people play because, they want to kick back and relax for the most part and just play a game.
Like,
they're designed to sell to,
The thing that's truly fascinating about Elden Ring, especially in terms of how much it sold, is that it had all of the odds stacked against it. Arguably, journalists shit on the game because it's too hard, and it didn't really have a big marketing push by any means. The Soulsborne franchise is very difficult. It's not for a mainstream. In the grand scheme of things, it's not really for the mainstream audience. Elden Ring had every single thing stacked against it, and it beat literally all the odds, all the metrics. That is testament to the game itself, no doubt. Now, what odds does Call of Duty have stacked against it? None. It's going to get all the advertisement that can possibly be put to push the game. It has all the influence that it needs. It doesn't have any odds stacked against it. It's going anything that has Call of Duty.
Wait. So if you're LeBron James and God gives you the natural body to be a basketball god, then we can't really say you're great because you technically have a head start. Come on, just because they don't have any obstacles doesn't mean it's not good.
But at birth, the thing is, at birth, journalists weren't saying when LeBron James was born that he was going to be the greatest basketball player that ever lived.
He was the most hyped 14-year-old in the world.
Yes, but when he was born, he wasn't.
Oh Christ! Okay, we're getting too much in the weeds with this one. Ham, before you push back on my point, let's go to the comments real quick. Retro says, but then you're left with FIFA, Madden, COD as Game of the Year every year based on sales. LOL, sales shouldn't matter. The game itself, dude. Rewind. This is a live show, but you can rewind. I said it should count for at least 20% of the total evaluation because no one actually evaluates a game on one single metric. Come on, bro. Listen. Mr. Inferno, welcome. Gogo says casuals don't seem to care
Inferno.
what wins Game of the Year. Even I don't know what won last few years and what made Keely's awards the de facto. What made Keely's award the de facto is that ain't nobody got time to keep track of every single Game of the Year, so we had to pick one, and that was the most watched one, so that's the one.
Let's start our own.
Thankma says this is a good panel. Cass fits in well. Yes, she does. She definitely
Thank
does. Gogo Post says Elden Ring so much deserves Game of the Year. From Soft stands between its own game and beliefs. Yes, yeah, they do believe in their art style. Dre Watson, yeah, people counted out Elden Ring. Oshus, Elden Ring and Cyberpunk are very Oshus, I will kick you out of the chat. Stop with the Cyberpunk. FromSoft is the Michelangelo of game studios.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Ham Solo.
Wait, can you go
Stop
fishing
that
in
one.
Elden Ring?
Sorry?
Can you go fishing in Elden Ring?
Cozy.
Stop.
Ham, do you have any pushback to my point that sales should be considered? Maybe not as the tent pole or the main foundation, but it should be a significant metric when evaluating Game of the Year.
Maybe if you want to tailor it to like first week sales, sure, then. But if we're doing all-time sales, it's not fair because they came out so dang late. And I'm gonna go back to what Matt said previously in the spaces that we had earlier. It's really interesting that they got time for God of War this time, but they didn't have time for Forza last year. It's really interesting, right? I mean, I'm just gonna say that out loud,
Insult,
you know, just so you know. It's really interesting, right? I mean, because
Stop with the conspiracy.
they're both 90 games, right? They're both
Stop with the
must-play games, right?
Stop with the conspiracy.
But yeah, if you do some sort of like first week sales kind of thing, then I could see how that would work. Like I said earlier, though, and I can't stop thinking about this now. If God of War would have came out the same time Elden Ring came out, this conversation would not exist. And I think God of War is lucky that it sacrificed Horizon instead of their largest title that they got, other than I guess Last of Us. I don't know. I'd say God of War is larger in my opinion, just because it's been around longer. I have a question.
Longer. Do you think Horizon and God of War are equal?
Do I think they're equal? No, not at all. Oh snap!
Who just fell off?
Cozy did.
Okay.
Do I think they're equal? Not at all. I think God of War is much more beloved within Sony and whatnot, but
within gaming,
I think
really.
they want. See what I think though is that they want Horizon to take the baton from Kratos and run with it.
It won't.
But the reception.
Only way they could do that. The only way they could do that is if they beat down God of War. They will have to sacrifice God of War because, like, to me, I don't think they're even close in comparison. God of War.
I'm trying to make Horizon a thing.
Yeah, like honestly, when it comes down to it, Kratos is the god of PlayStation. Who the fuck is that bitch in Horizon again?
Exactly,
Aloy?
that Horizon bitch. That's what I call her.
No, it's
oh my
the
god, y'all
redhead.
disrespectful.
Is it
she's as bland
Her name's
as
Andrea.
a wet napkin. She has all the personality of a wet napkin.
She has a name. Her name is
Cozy's
Andrea.
not wrong.
She has all the personality of a wet napkin. I refuse.
That is
Yeah,
wow.
I'm sorry. They are not the same.
Jeez. Okay, let's go to the chat real quick. Everyone throwing roses at Cage. So I'm guessing she has to come back next week. Osha
Yes.
says Ham spitting facts on all fronts. On that point, Mr. Inferno, Ham is gonna be called a bot. Osha says Eloy is freaking. Oh, her name is Eloy. Annoying man,
Aloy.
no bot, no bot. Oh, it's Aloy. It's not.
So you know her
Yeah.
name the entire time.
Oh,
See,
okay. It's
nobody
Aloy.
nobody forgets Kratos. Let's just put it that way.
Damn. This panel
I mean,
is
that's a
sexist.
fact.
I'm calling
Yeah,
it. I'm freaking
that's a
calling
fact.
it.
I think Aloy was supposed to take the baton at some point,
It was
but
Andrea.
it's just
I swear it was Andrea.
no, sir. But
Wow.
I feel like
Go. Stop crying. Go ahead, Am.
I
So,
feel
sorry.
like that gorilla really misstepped on the way they rolled out the character that is Aloy. She is tough enough, but she's not likable enough. And the one thing that I said about Horizon, and this is a personal opinion, so I don't care if anybody disagrees with it or whatnot, but I felt like one of the biggest things that could have made Aloy special is just one companion. Just having
Oh, come on. Stop with the
companion.
PlayStation template of what would it be like a boy or a girl? A
No,
little
no, no, no. I'm
daughter
talking
or
about
a
like an
son?
animal of some sort, something that you actually care about. Because what comes off when you play Horizon, either one of them, is that she's alone. The game makes you kind of feel alone, and it feels like she doesn't give a shit about really anything other than like figuring out this mystery on why she is who she is and why the world is acting the way that it is. She doesn't really have like, and it's weird throughout the game. Aloy meets people that end up finding companions, but she really doesn't.
Oh man.
And it's just so weird to me that like you're looking over at Varl and I mean whoever he decides to get with, which I know from playing the game, like it's just like, wow, he's doing stuff, and oh, this family came from a tight knit, and you just feel like just that lone person that was left at the step of a freaking firehouse.
You need to
And
stop.
like that's just
Ham,
the way I go.
Your companion craving thing, I'm blaming it on your Persona 5 marathon that you're playing, right? You need to stop playing that game.
David,
Okay,
also,
time out.
talking to herself
Time
looks
out.
annoying.
Does Kratos not have a companion?
Christ.
Does
speaking-
dude in Red Dead Arthur Morgan not have a companion? In Grand Theft
discussing
Auto,
his
do they
horse?
have companions? Like,
Well, I mean,
I'm just
in the
saying, like
grand scheme of
most,
things,
like it's really it intensifies a story to me when you have something that you actually care about. But like Aloy, it feels like she doesn't really like even in her conversations with people, it just feels so dry and just like she's saving the world, but what is she gonna do with the world after she saves it? Like, why is she
But she's
saving
getting
this
rid of all
world?
that toxic masculinity that comes with saving the world. Because
Oh my
she doesn't have
God.
to do anything.
Oh,
She doesn't have to
shut
do- Let me finish
up.
my
I'm sorry.
point. Let me finish my point. She doesn't have to do anything
Look.
after saving the world. She's just gonna save the world and she's gonna let people go about their business.
but
Isn't
look
that-
at look
isn't that a
at
good
Guerrilla
thing
Games
to say?
history though.
What?
Where in Killzone did they have a character that's just like extremely memorable by any means? I don't
You're
really.
right.
they have never
Good
been
point.
able to have that character that leads their franchise. They've never been good at that. I
Okay,
mean,
let's
I
go to
like
the chat.
Killzone, but
Let's go to the chat because it's catching fire out here.
Oh, Mr. Inferno's
First
out of
off,
pocket.
is it Aloy or Eloy? Because
It's
Gogo
Aloy.
says
Aloy.
Eloy. Okay, I'm just gonna trust you guys because I don't care enough to Google it. I'm just being honest. All right. Sentinel
But
says
that's the thing. You don't care enough about this character to even Google to find her
no,
name. My
no,
point exactly, bro.
no, no. You could make that
All
game
disrespectful.
like you could put it on PS Plus. It's not worth the megabytes for me to download it and play it. No,
I
just no,
tried, man. I really
no.
tried. I like the world. I think the world is beautiful. I bought the collector's edition of Horizon Zero Dawn, expecting to fall in love, and
Collector's edition.
I
Jeez.
have zero interest in that franchise.
Do you
And I like
regret?
role games.
Okay, you know what? Let's not go down this rabbit hole. Let's go back to the chat. Sentinel says Cass is right about Kratos being the god of war. However, I want to say that the two strong characters for Xbox being Master Chief and a Gears protagonist, they're just not as strong. What? What? I lost the bass in my voice for a minute. Dre says it won't. God of War is PlayStation's king right now. Retro says Kratos was a sex-crazed monster at one point, and he didn't get any deeper till 2018. He got real
He was
deep.
interesting, but he was interesting.
You ask those ladies, he got real deep. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
being shallow does not make you uninteresting. Being a shallow character, it's like doesn't make you uninteresting. Kratos was still interesting. The problem with Aloy is just not interesting. She just has like a handful of checklist personality traits, but no personality.
She's
It's
a
like
woman,
we
Cozy.
want
Are
a
you not
character. We want a character that's brave and what else is she? Brave, daring,
Cozy,
talks to herself too much.
Cozy, are you not supposed? Isn't it like a contract that you're supposed to like this?
No,
Oh my
No.
God! Stop.
no.
I mean, look. The
She has
best
the right
way, the best discussion always is to default back to Tomb Raider. Lara Croft is a very memorable character until the reboot. And to be honest,
Yeah.
I love the reboot games
Hey,
because
I
the
love the
gameplay, they
reboot.
just let me play. I love the reboot too, but is even with her companion, is reboot Lara Croft at all memorable?
No.
No. It's the gameplay that's memorable. Okay, let's go to the chat.
I agree.
Let's finish with the chat. Kratos went deep. Sentinel says whether it's Marcus Phoenix or Kate Diaz, neither one is as powerful enough from a PR perspective to make anyone outside of Xbox really care. Bro,
I think Reyna, Kate's mother, is a more interesting character than Aloy is.
okay, let's not
Like
get
the
No,
thing,
yes, I agree.
Damn
the
the
thing that made me
shade.
go back to Gears of War is because I wanted to play as Reyna because she just comes off as the angry Puerto Rican mom that I imagine her being. That's literally and I love it. I find that more interesting than Aloy as a character.
Okay, I refuse to address the travesty that is Gears of War 5. Let's move on. Osha says the chick that Loke hates from Gears 5 is better. Can't remember her name. Whatever, man. Retro says you leave Marcus alone. Dude, Marcus not. You know what? Okay, screw the chat. Retro
Break
says
down.
Cap Law Crate Karatos wasn't any deeper than being angry and having sex. They didn't do a lot of his character work till 2018.
It's
Nothing
not
to do with
about character
talking
development.
about?
It's about an interesting character. You don't have to have character development to be an interesting character. Aloy suffers because she's not a character.
Yeah, she's not
Okay.
holistic. There's just nothing to her. Nothing.
Stankmore says, Gogo Paul, good luck with Horizon Forbidden West. I tried Zero Dawn, was absolutely bored out of my mind. Osha says Lara isn't interesting. Retro, I wasn't comparing him to her, but he was as deep as a puddle.
Man, just the look of the character can draw you in. What made me buy Devil May Cry 3 as a kid? I looked at that cover and I saw Dante on that cover, dude with white hair, that red leather trench coat, the fucking enormous sword, all this like
And a
I don't know, he
gun.
just had all this character before you even open the case. You look at the cover, I'm like, I need this game because this dude looks insane.
chat-
He looks like there's so much to him.
The
Just
chat
based
is
off of
triggering
that.
me today. It's
Like
like everyone
somebody
sat
get a
down.
mop. There's just so much swag all over the floor.
Dude,
It-
like,
Just
literally,
pouring out of
bro.
this game.
I think the thing is, like, you're confusing characterization with having a personality. Like a personality, giving a character a personality, you make that a character and not just a protagonist. Aloy comes off
has
very generic
neither-
protagonist. Yes.
She has
Yes.
neither personality and she's not cool. Like, I can get behind a character that comes off or at least looks cool. Like, I don't want my character to be a somebody that I would never want to even be around in real life. I would never ever want to spend a single moment of my life with Aloy, but you're asking me to sink all these hours into this game playing as her.
Like, I don't think
I'm good.
Bayonetta's a great character, but she's fun. And she's like fun and she's kind of
now
like,
you're
you know,
hurting my
flirty.
feelings.
I think no, so I take it back. I think
someone needs to
Bayonetta's a
help
great
take this
character. I
thing.
don't think she has
Go
great
off, Cozy, go off.
characterization. She doesn't have great character development. She doesn't have any of that. But she's fun. She's, what's the word I'm
She's
looking for?
cool.
She's flirty.
She's
cool.
fucking
She is.
cool.
I love Bayonetta. Like, and it's like,
do
Aloy,
too.
how do you be like in a game like that and not even at least she doesn't come off as curious? Like, I was confused. Like, how does she not? But
Bayonetta doesn't have crazy character development, but she sticks to her guns, literally, figuratively,
question
and
I have for you
literally,
guys.
and she has all the
Wearing
swag.
the damn thing.
Here's a question that I got
Yeah.
for you guys then. I mean, we are way off topic, but
Yes.
here's
Yes.
the question that I
This is
have
fun.
while we're off topic. If Horizon decided, this character is stale from Zero Dawn, and Forbidden West, we're gonna make this a full RPG experience, so you actually get to
I'd buy
make
that
the
game.
decisions for her.
I would buy that game.
Would you be more inclined to want to play something like that, Cozy or Cassie, at all?
not if I have
Like,
to be Aloy. I think that's the problem.
We'll see this, but the thing is now you are making who Aloy is compared to who like you're transforming her personality. Like, think of it in that way. So you get the Zero Dawn, which feels already like a base template kind of generic character, but now you get to expand upon her and make her a different type of person than who she currently is. Would that be more appealing, or is it still just no play all day kind of game?
I'd be interested because at least I feel like the game finally commits to something. Personally, I feel like Horizon wants to be an RPG, but they don't want to commit. And it just feels like it sits in this middle place that it doesn't really attract me. And the character just being as bland and uninteresting as she is just makes it worse.
I feel similarly. It's like an idea that's interesting, and I think for me already, it's like Aloy I can't associate an interesting, RPG where you're making choices with Aloy.
Okay.
I think that ship has already sailed, I feel like.
So
Fair
can
enough.
we move
That
on?
answers the question.
Okay.
Yeah, look, we're
from
done.
One of the most boring protagonists of all time. Like
Luke's
I
getting
think,
bored just hearing about Aloy.
dude, I think
Honestly.
Aloy is legendary just for that. Jesus. All right,
Legendary for being the most basic character of all time.
bro. I'm just glad it's two
Oh my
women.
god.
I'm just glad it's two women saying it, because if we was saying it, someone could misconstrue it. So y'all go off. Anyway, let's move on. NASCAR driver advances to the championship thanks to GameCube game. NASCAR driver Ross Chastain credits
GameCube?
his last. Yes, Ross Chastain credits his last ditch move at Martinsville Speedway to trick his way to winning. After a restart with 20 laps to go, track horse racing driver Ross Chastain sat in 10th place, 2 points below the cut line. I don't know what that is, and behind his season-long rival Denny Hamlin, who was 5th and 2 points above the cut line. On the final lap, Chastain took the white flag when his spotter, the crew member that provides track information directly to the driver, emphasized that Ross needed 2 points to get into the championship as he drove into turns 1 and 2 with the other two cars still he needed to pass somewhat close. Rather than following the conventional racing line, he stays on the gas, rides the outside wall
Dude,
like a
he
Rocket League.
wrecked that shit too.
Yeah,
Like
like
I've
a Rocket
seen
League
that
player.
he turned into the wall and just rode the wall
And he
into the
passed
finish
5
line.
cars. He passed 5 cars in the process, including his rival Hamlin. So
Wow.
speaking with reporters after the race, he credited the idea to NASCAR 2005 Chase Cup for the Cup. That's what it's called. Made by
That's funny.
Sports Simulation. Can you let me finish?
I'm sorry, this is funny.
So
Made by
ridiculous,
Sports-
though.
Made by sports simulation studio EA Sports Tiburon in 2004 for the Nintendo GameCube, PS4, and Xbox. Players in a last-ditch effort rode the wall and kept in the gas to make up as many spots as possible. It was a move that theoretically could be done if the car stayed at the right angle so as not to get caught on the wall and spin out. But no real-life driver ever pulled it off. Ham Solo, clearly you saw this, so give
Yes.
us a proper breakdown, because I don't watch NASCAR, and I was like, what the hell is why is NASCAR on my feed?
So I don't watch NASCAR either, but I'm into sports, so I ran across this. And watching that dude, like, it was not long. It was like literally right before the end of the race. Bro swerved his car out of the, like, just like you said, out of the regular driving lanes. And you just seen sparks flying and like paint just going onto the wall. This dude rode the wall with the foot fully onto the pedal into the damn finish line. I'm talking about, wow, this dude went out of his way to say, this ain't over. he's like, this shit ain't over, son. We gonna fight this out, and he really did that joint. Shout out to Retro in the chat right now. He said, "Man," he said, "Man, done a real life wall ride." Like, we all thinking about shit from like maybe what is it called, like Titanfall or Call of Duty games where you running or you riding on the wall or something like that. Bro did the shit in IRL in real life, motherfucker, riding the wall to get to the next spot. I mean, that's dedication right there. Bro could have just threw his arms up and said, you know what, I'll be back next year. But he did something that nobody's seen coming. I mean, he put his car to the test. That was dope. But anyways, continue, Loke. I'm good.
So the question here is, are video games threatening to ruin the real world? Cage, you go first. Cage, is this a good thing? Because when he left, he was very proud, stating to reporters all over the world, like, yeah, this because I saw this on a video game. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I do think in this situation that is a really bad influence because I mean, look, the great thing about video games is I could do some really over the top shit and I could die a million times, and but in real life I'm still alive. Whereas, in real life, you play things to the level of video games, you lose your
Yeah.
life. That's it. And when it comes to like sports like NASCAR, I have to side with safety first over everything else. It's a sport where I want everyone to walk away not crippled and not dead. So I just don't think that that's the best way to go about a race in real life. Leave that kind of stuff to the video games, man, and don't be proud of saying that video games convinced you that this was the best thing to do in a given situation, because
Oh my
like,
God.
bro,
Well, let's
we've
all
had
keep it
enough
100.
of these
We've all done
arguments.
this in a game, though. We've all put our car.
But would
in
you do
He came out and said it.
to win a
He
race.
came out
But
and
the
if he
thing
hadn't
is-
said it.
But the thing is, bro, if you're stuck in traffic, man, in real life, are you going to consider doing this kind of shit to get past the traffic? No, because video games are not real life. Like, let's not mesh the two together. You're muted, Cozy.
It's not safe or advisable to do like in standard traffic, but in a race situation, everyone is a professional driver. They're not going to be driving to the same standards. And not only that, but let me tell you something. I literally
Cozy.
passed my driving exam because of video games. And I will, like, you know, I got in the car first time and I was like, zoom. And they're like, how? And I was like, video games. Like, you just, like, get a feel for the physics of driving a car. And kind of, if you're good at it in a video game, you can legit. Now, I wouldn't
Never get to the
advise
car
being
with you.
like,
I'm
But,
never
Well,
yeah,
I
getting
mean,
a
you
car with you.
use like for you, video games
the hell?
influenced you to do driving right, whereas he's saying video games influenced him to do driving wrong.
What do you mean wrong? He won.
no,
Say he
Okay,
won.
but the whole
He
ideal
got what he
of
needed.
having a vehicle is to not destroy it.
Yeah.
But in NASCAR, I mean, it's
they
just
destroy
like,
cars a lot.
yeah. I mean, they
Yeah,
do
but
destroy
the
cars a
goal
lot,
is
but
not to. You know, like that's not the goal.
well, I mean, you could use that same logic in many sports. Like the goal is to, get the touchdown no matter who runs in, whether it's the center or if it's the wide receiver, quarterback.
Yeah, but
Like-
we don't
like-
want.
like- like-
but
like
we
if
don't.
the-
The
Right now.
goal.
If the
I'm
nose
supposed to
tackle
bring
is
up
running,
Ryan McCaffrey.
if the nose tackle is running into the end zone, that wasn't intended to happen. But it's
the
a
goal
W.
isn't but in NFL, the goal isn't to get a concussion.
Sure, but there's no
Hopefully.
benefit behind that either, though.
But I mean,
There's a benefit to
you
winning.
can say. I mean, but you can win and still have a concussion.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. They don't come out and say it. I think what's weird about this situation with Ross is that he came out and he said it. Because if you listen to Shannon Sharp, for example, it's like, dude, in the locker room, there's lots of situations where we were like, yo, we about to give this quarterback a concussion, or we're gonna shake him up proper. You know, like they don't come out and say it, but
I'm against all that though.
but they come out with the intent to do it.
To
So-
do harm.
The thing is, doing harm kind of goes hand in hand with winning when we're talking about football in specific. Because if you rock Tom Brady, the game's practically over. Okay? I'm not saying that's what they should do. I'm just saying if you do it, you've technically won. Which is why they came up with rules like roughing the passer and all this other stuff. Let's go to the chat real quick. Oshus is getting salty as usual. It says hitting the Forza rewind every time I drive over the yellow line in traffic. Haha. Dre says it's like how dudes who be hooping in real life do some out of the wall stuff, then have the gall to say, "Hey, I saw it on 2K." The hell, that's fine. Like random guys, but if Kyrie comes out and says that, everyone's okay. Maybe not Kyrie. I mean,
Oh Lord.
anyone
How do we get
but
on
Kyrie.
that?
Kyrie would say whatever. But I'm talking like I don't know. Freaking LeBron. If LeBron says it, people will be like, "What? This guy took something from Gears of War, from thingy, from NBA 2K." Okay, so Cozy, have you had a say on this whole NASCAR thing?
You know, here's the I think it all matters within context. I think the reason it worked for him, and it could have been bad, but it worked for him because he's already a professional driver, driving without other professional drivers. I mean, and the things that happen in these things that could happen in these NASCAR races already happen even without what he did. So it doesn't really make a difference, and it got him into the position he needed, and he pulled it off successfully.
Oh man, Cozy, I was with you. So
I'm
basically,
kind of.
because there's already risk, his added risk doesn't matter. Come on,
I mean,
I'm
I think
saying
it's more
NASCAR's
comparable.
dangerous. Sorry.
go
Yeah,
ahead. Go
I mean,
ahead, Kate.
but so is like wrestling, for example. But these people practice all these moves and trying to get them perfectly executed in order to avoid injury. I feel as though when it comes to NASCAR racing, it is extremely dangerous. That's why I feel as though doing unconventional things that are purposefully like not advised in any way, shape, or form is detrimental to the sport itself and to people's lives. I don't feel as though what he did was professionalism.
I
I
forgot
mean,
to
as
ask
long as
you.
it's within the realm of
in
the
a sense,
game.
I agree with you because it's just like this. Because I see what Cassie's saying. She's saying, "Yo, what you just did could open a can of worms for the future of the way people look to win a race. So if you're neck and neck with somebody, now this finish line became like a freaking construction zone." like where all these
Yeah.
cars are crashing
I do
to
agree
get
with
that
that.
last little bit.
Destruction Derby.
I do agree with that, but I think what worked, I think the reason it worked for him is because you're going to have to calculate whether or not you can actually pull it off. So I think it worked for him, but I think a lot of people are not going to go out and be like, well, I'm going to try that too, because
But many
you have
accidents
to.
occur because a lot of people calculate and be like, "No, I can do this. I can do it. I can totally do this," and then it doesn't work out.
I mean, specifically, I think when we're talking about things like NASCAR, you already have a lot of, very awful things that can happen on the track. And
Again,
so,
Koji, again, just because there's other risks doesn't mean it's okay to add another one.
Well, here's the thing. It's like in regards to that, we already established that in NASCAR, doing everything right could still result in death. This person is choosing to do it wrong. And it's like you're already dealing in a sport that can result in death, and you're doing things wrong on purpose now, intentionally. I think that's a huge problem.
I think, if NASCAR decides to make a rule against it, like you can't do this, then suddenly, yeah. But as long as NASCAR is not willing to be like take a stand and make a rule against, I'm very much everything goes. In fact, I was telling someone about how I don't like the MMA because it has too much rules.
Yeah, at first it was more free form. Now it's
Yeah.
Okay,
I want
let's
people
go
to
to the
be
chat.
aggressive and violent and
Also,
do whatever. Okay.
before you go to the chat, Ham already said doesn't watch NASCAR. Cage, do you watch NASCAR?
No, I honestly don't.
Cozy, do you watch NASCAR?
No, I don't watch any sport.
Okay, let's go to the chat real quick. Osha says, "I live my life like a farming simulator, just without the animals."
I support this.
The dad jokes. Osha's like, he's banging with the dad jokes. Dre Watson, driver, was like, "I live my life a quarter of a mile at a time." Yes, just like Dom. Just like Dom. All right. Last one. PlayStation VR 2 price and release date. So Sony announces that the price details and launch date of VR2. It's been revealed that the cost will be $550 and will include the PlayStation VR2 headset, PS VR2 Sense controller, and stereo headphones. Although the Sense controllers can be charged through the PS5's USB ports, the dedicated charging station will cost an additional $50. The new PS VR2 Sense controller charging station are designed specifically for the PS VR2 Sense controller and will officially launch on February 22nd, 2023. Let's quickly knock this one out. Cage, are you getting the PS VR2 and you think this is a fair price?
She is not at the mic.
Oh.
All right, Cozy. Are
Uh,
you getting it, and is it a
I
fair
don't know.
price?
You went to
Mm.
Cozy next.
you
Dude, she's the
know,
one who's
as
in
I
love with it.
say,
Well,
VR isn't mature enough for me to even consider it. I will say that I think the price is fair and comparable. Isn't it like I mean, and I think when people calculate all the extra stuff, they're like, well, but the charging stand is separate. It's like that's an extra. What you call it? That doesn't have to be calculated into the price. You're getting that because you want the convenience, not because you
no,
have to
the
get it.
charging stand is an extra $50, but the PSVR 2 and all its attachments is $550.
That is a reasonable price.
Will you be getting it?
No,
All right. Why?
I don't think VR is a mature enough technology right now. It's still just like a handful of enthusiasts that are willing to wait out mostly mediocre software that are experimental and not really that adventurous. Why is most VR software still just disembodied hands?
Jeez. Okay, Cozy. There's no need to get violent.
I'm just saying.
I don't work for PlayStation. Jesus. Ham Solo. PSVR 2. Are you getting it? Is it a fair price?
Am I getting it? Is still up in the air. I'm not dying to get it. Right now I have the Oculus 2 and I barely use that as it is, so I don't want to just keep adding VR things when I'm not even using the VR that I got, and this one works wirelessly and I can plug it into my PC and play Flight Sim and Star Wars Squadron and a bunch of other games and stuff like that. So I mean, it definitely has its place, but I'm just not ready for it quite yet. But as for pricing wise, I think it's fantastic for the price. I mean, if you look at what's currently available with the Oculus, not the Pro, but the Oculus Quest 2, it's a $300 headset. It's a $300 headset. Just like this new PlayStation VR headset, you have to get the dock separate. In fact, you have to get the cord to plug it into your PC separate as well. So, I mean, with some of the griping that I've been seeing about this PlayStation VR, I just don't see the issues with it. The real thing for me is whether I want it right away or not, and I probably don't, just because it doesn't have a whole lot of games that I'm dying to play on it. But yeah, I mean, I think this thing has a hell of a lot of things to offer with the 4K HDR display, and enhanced eye comfort, the eye tracking, the inside out tracking, so you seeing through like you can with the Oculus. The headset feedback is really interesting, something that I don't get at all with. I mean, there are features here that you don't even get close to on the Oculus Quest Pro. And for it to only be a couple $100 more, if even that, depending on what retailer you get your Oculus through, that's a damn good price. So I really don't see the issue with any of this at all. I think it's a good price. I just don't need it right now. I'm kind of with Cozy on that sense of it's just not really matured quite yet, because if you think about it, most consoles have that game.
Oh no, you're not gonna say it. You're not gonna say it.
Whether it's Xbox,
no game?
Gears, Halo, or Forza, or
no.
PlayStation with God of War, Horizon and stuff like that, and then Nintendo with Mario and all that other stuff.
Don't say
the
it.
thing that PlayStation might have going for it is they could possibly make a God of War game VR, which would be insane. That'd be hella dope. Like they already are a platform, so they could put their, biggest platform pieces onto their hardware. But as for VR in a whole, everyone says like Half-Life Alyx is it, which I don't disagree with them, but it's just not enough for me. I mean, I feel like VR really needs to have like an assortment of different types of games for different genres that appeal to it, because Half-Life Alyx is something that I'd be hella down to play, but I'm not gonna buy a system for it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It almost goes into Cozy's logic, like of 5 games needing to be available on something that I
That you
want
want.
before I go out and get it. And VR I ran out and got this Oculus Quest 2. And then when I was looking at the library of games, it's not that they didn't have any good ones. I bought like Beat what was that, Beat Saber or whatever that game is called, and I also got like Super Hot, which is good games, but I mean that's how I felt afterwards. I was like, this was a good time, but like when I go to like when I went to work or did anything, I wasn't thinking I can't wait to continue into a game on my VR. My VR is more or less like what cloud gaming is to Xbox, just a piece of it, but not the whole pie.
Mhm.
Okay. Cage, is the price for PSVR too steep? And will you be getting it?
So, I mean, I think a lot of people have been criticizing the price point just because to be fair, it is a bit jarring that it's more than the actual PlayStation 5 console itself. But
Oh, it's
do
the
I
same
think
price.
that
Same price. Don't forget the
okay,
PS5
same
added
price.
an extra 50.
Oh, but that's okay. That's for in some places. So in some places it is the same price. In other places it is like $50 more from what I'm gathering. But I think it's a little jarring for some people. Do I personally think that think the same way? No. It is expensive, but I mean they're pushing technology in this front forward, so I understand that it's going to be costly. Will I personally be getting it? To be honest, I've been kind of scared to try VR because I have some issues with like light sensitivity. So I've been kind of concerned with trying it. I would like to at least try it before I buy it. It's just it's difficult because previous games on the previous headset, they're not going to be forward compatible, so automatically it's a very small library. I think in the future it's definitely could be an investment that's worth it, but right now it's hard for me to say that it's worth it right now given that the library is very tiny. Will VR games be held to the same level as a God of War, as some of the most compelling games that we've ever played, as an Elden Ring? That's still that's still a
Stop
question that
with the
needs to
Elden
be
Ring.
answered.
Stop with the
Yeah,
Elden
like,
Ring.
but it's like the grand scheme of things. Are can VR games live
Not
to the
yet.
level of gaming as a whole? That's a question that needs to be answered because it's not it's a costly device. For some people, they just love the quirkiness of a lot of VR games, and it's worth it to them because that's their niche. They love quirky stuff that is new, fresh, silly, or whatever have you. I think that appeals to a certain demographic, but it's a small niche demographic. Now, if they can make games that are super compelling, close to that of some of the most compelling games that we hold dear to us, yeah, it could definitely be worth it. But if this is still a relatively new space of gaming that I'm interested to see develop and how far it can possibly go. But right now, I'm not really gonna invest in it. If there's a library that I'm tempted to to buy a VR headset for, then yeah, I will give it a try. Hopefully, I won't get sick, or hopefully, I can play it for more than like 15 to a half hour at a time. But there's still a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to VR.
All right. So thanks to God of War, we are way, way over the time limit. Let's quickly
It-
get through this.
it'd
Game
be like that.
predictions. Game predictions. Cage, what we do with game predictions is we pick a game that's coming out next week, and then you give us the Metacritic score that you think it's going to get.
Oh no, one of these.
Yes.
Fundamentally, I'm against all of this. I hope that you
You can
realize
just
what
give them-
you're trying to make me
You
do,
can give
sir.
them 4s if you want. First off, we have Sonic Frontiers coming out November 8th. It's a platformer
Um,
coming out on all platforms. Yes, I said platforms twice. Cassie, what's the score?
I'd say, damn, you're making me go against all my fundamentals.
That's the whole point of
I
the show.
guess it's a 7 out of 10 if I had to pick. It
So that's
seems
a
like an
7.
interesting game,
Okay, so
but
Giving it
will
a
it?
70.
score is out of 100. That's out of 100. So 70, correct?
Okay, yep.
All right.
Yeah, it
Uh,
seems like an interesting game, but it for some reason it's just not quite getting over the hump. I'm interested in it, but am I gonna day one it personally? No, because I just don't think it's like a day one. I think it's an interesting game, but not a day one.
Okay. Cozy, what's the Metacritic score for Sonic Frontiers?
You should let him go first this time.
All
Because
right.
Ham
Ham
always feels
Solo.
bad about going.
Yeah, because he's
last.
losing 6-0. Ham Solo.
I
What's the
suck at
Metacritic
this.
score? What's the
Um,
Metacritic score for Sonic Frontiers?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go generous with a 85.
You're letting your excitement for this game get into your head. All right, fine. 85.
Damn.
Cozy, what's the score for Sonic Frontiers?
87.
Oh
87.
Okay.
All right.
What?
Matt likes games.
Let's hope you win, Cozy, in that
84.
aspect.
I feel like this will be the Sonic. This will finally
Wow.
be the Sonic. That's
Wow.
Yeah, I
good.
feel like it has high aspirations, but will they actually will it translate well? That's what I'm waiting to see.
I want it to be
All
so
right.
good.
Okay.
Yes.
God of War Ragnarok coming out November 9th.
That already have the
Uh,
score.
the PS4 score is not out, so give me the PS4 prediction score.
Oh,
Cassie, go first.
I'm confused. PS4 prediction score.
Yeah,
Come on.
the Metacritic score is for PS5 only. They haven't
Boo.
rated the PS4 one.
Oh, I got you. I don't know, like 80.
80.
Don't know.
with Cassie.
80.
Cozy,
Man,
I
Cozy
don't do
nosedive.
numbers, bro. I
Ham Solo.
don't do
Ham Solo.
numbers,
God of
bro.
War on PS4.
I'm gonna give it a 90.
90. Cozy. God of War PS4.
93.
93. Mad Likes Games is trolling as usual, gives it a 99. Whatever, dog. I'll
That
put
would
it
be
It's
here.
gonna
interesting.
eclipse Zelda.
Christ. All right, whatever. Last we have Tactics Ogre Reborn. Cassie, what's the score?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a strategy
Me
RPG
either.
coming out on PS5,
Good
PS4,
luck.
PC, and Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I don't know. Let's shoot for 85.
85.
Wow, you gave that
Ham.
game you don't even know more praise than Sonic. That's disrespect.
Ham, stop getting triggered. Stop getting triggered, Ham.
I'm triggered. I'm full. I mean, I'm
Christ.
hairpin
Okay.
triggered right now.
Okay, so Ham, pick a score for Tactics Ogre Reborn.
Man, I'm gonna give that a 72.
Just out of spite for Cassie.
It's
Jeez.
not out of spite. It's where it
Cozy.
needs to be.
Cozy,
You are
Tactics
You
Ogre
are rude,
Reborn.
Ham. You are rude. I'm gonna go with 87.
87. All right.
You do
This
know the
woman
what?
is out of her mind.
No. I think I mean, because you don't like it's not your type of game. But if you know anything about the last one, it was very highly reviewed.
I mean, you know how PC nerds eat up strategy games.
89
Let's
to
be
be
real.
specific. 89 for the previous one. Anyway, game
72.
results from last week. Game results from last week. Oh damn. Sorry, I wasn't checking the chat. Usher says Sonic gets a 70. Oh, I'm getting these receipts next
I
week.
hate
guys.
you.
Usher
Excuse me, I don't
says
hate you.
70. Who else? Who else is shitting on Sonic?
This is gonna be the one. I know I say this every Sonic release, but this is finally gonna be the Sonic.
All right, fine.
I believe it.
Last week's results. So no one has rated WRC Generation, and I'm very upset about that. I love rally games. I don't know why no one cares about them.
Yeah, I was
But,
hoping someone rated it,
Well,
but
whatever. Anyway, the chant. Matt likes game said 69. Doom 73. Ham 76. Cozy said 81. The actual score was 69. What was 71? sorry.
Oof.
It was 71.
Oh,
So Doom actually scored on that one. Doom and
69
Matt
would have
likes
been better.
games. No, they both
Enough
have a
said.
2-point difference. So Matt likes games and Doom actually scored on this one. The second game was It Takes Two coming out on Nintendo Switch. Cozy said same score for the previous release, which was 89. Ham Solo 83, Doom 89, Matt likes games 92. The actual score was 90. So Cozy got that one, but because both of you guys are on one, no one gets a score. So as far as game prediction goes, Cozy continues with 6 wins. Ham,
Wouldn't that
Bagel.
mean Matt wins?
Dang.
No,
Because he's too
Matt.
off.
No. Matt is he got one for the chant, but he didn't get one for It Takes Two
How?
because he's
Because
too off.
Wow.
He got 92, right? And the score was
Yeah.
90. Cozy said 89.
Oh, okay.
The chant should have gotten 69, because then that would have been funny.
Right. So notable tweets, because we're on top of it. There's 3 notable tweets. I'm gonna give one to each one of you.
Choose
Cassie,
wisely.
what we usually do is we give, like, I'll read you the tweet and you give me your reaction on whatever it is, even if it's no comment. So first one goes to Cassie. Swan931 says, seeing all these games I can't get to now, knowing they will make me happy years down the road is kind of fun in a way. What's your thoughts on this one?
I feel the same way when it comes to like a lot of releases and stuff, because it's like I'll end up buying a game that I'm hyped for, but I'm playing something else, so I will set that aside. It'll stay wrapped, and I'm waiting for that moment where I'm like, this is going to hit. I'm just waiting for the moment that's best to play this game when I'm not swarmed with other things, when my mind isn't set to deal with other things, so that I can dedicate this good amount of time to this particular game.
All right, Yobi, I need you to pick one. You need to pick one, not 89 to 95. You have to pick one.
All the numbers
no.
in this range.
No. Okay, so Ham. Hey there, Mucha says 2022 gamers want high-powered consoles that run like PCs but don't want to pay more than $300 for them. They want to play cinematic games at 60 FPS with no load times, but don't want them to cost more than $60. I'm tired, so very tired. What's your take on this one?
I feel like part of that's fair.
Part of it.
Yeah. Part of that's fair, especially when it's the whole like new console and some people not wanting to spend the full amount. But it's whatever. I mean, this take could be easily taken the wrong way, but in my opinion, this isn't that spicy. It's just like, oh, okay. That's too bad that you feel that way. I'm sorry you're tired.
All right. Lastly, we have the perfect one for Cozy. Tiago Lordello 1, replying to IGN Korea scoring God of War Ragnarok 6 out of 10, said, and I quote, Asians don't know hardcore games, just hentai and nerd stuff.
Holy racism, Batman. Holy racism, Batman. Not only that, but I'm like, so IG in Korea, you do realize Korea has one of the most hardcore gaming communities. They dominate esports. They are, holy racist, Batman. Maybe they just didn't like the game. That's okay. It's okay. Not every game is going to appeal to everyone. I probably would have rated it like a 6 too.
Salty. Okay. It's time.
Not that
It's
that's
quiz
bad.
time. It's quiz time.
Okay.
Gage. Basically, what I do is I ask a question, and then I say true or false, and you have to pick whether. Oh, sorry. I make a statement, and then I ask true or false, and you have to say whether what I just said is true or false. Is that simple enough for you?
Yep.
All right. Cozy and Ham, the usual. This time I want Ham to pick, not Cozy. Ham, in what hand is the
Ring.
pin? Sorry?
Ring.
God damn it. All right. So Ham goes first. Now I have to redo my Excel table that I had here set. God damn it.
I mean, damn.
Giving me-
You said I was gonna lose. Jeez,
Yeah, I was
Louise.
pretty sure. Anyway,
So now he's retailoring all the bullshit questions, so I get them.
no.
So I
just
don't know
changed
what that.
it.
He's like, let me
No,
remaneuver my Excel so I can make sure
no.
you
I
get
just-
this
I just-
work. That's what he's trying to say.
Whatever.
He's trying
whatever.
to,
I'm
he's
not
trying to
even-
give me
I'm
an
not gonna
L,
think
bro.
about that with the response.
Yep.
Cassie, are you ready?
Go for it.
All right. The current highest Metacritic score for Football Manager 2023 is 80. True or false?
False. I think.
Correct. The score is 82. Ham Solo, God of War 2018 has sold over 30 million copies. True or false?
False.
Correct. Over 23 million. Cozy, Call of
Yeah.
Duty Warzone releases
Let's
on
go.
November 16th. True or false?
Ball?
It's actually true.
Hmm.
Cassie,
You should know
Pentiment-
this, you Call of Duty stan.
No, come on, dude. That's heartless. That is
I've
heartless.
never even installed a single Call of Duty on anything.
Because she plays it
Wow.
on the
You know what
cloud.
No, I literally never played it.
Okay, let's keep it moving, y'all. Cassie, Pentiment is an Xbox console exclusive releasing on November 16th. True or false?
It has to be false. Xbox doesn't have console exclusives. Oh no,
Wow.
no, it's
Well-
true. It's true. Can I go back? Can I go back?
Oh
This
my
is
god.
No,
We're accepting two
PC.
answers.
no. I before he did anything, I thought to myself, no, wait, my brain is broken. This is wrong. You said console exclusive. You didn't say exclusive. So that's why I now say it's true.
Let the guests do it.
Actually, it is false because although it
There
is,
you go.
hold on, no, it is an Xbox console exclusive. It's just releasing on November 15th, not the 16th.
Damn.
Ham Solo.
Yeah,
It
that's
is what
a
it
dick
is.
move. That was a dick move.
It is what it is.
You see, Cassie took it like a trooper. Cozy, learn from Cassie. Jeez, man.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Cozy.
Ham Solo. Microsoft loses less than $100 on every Xbox sold. True or false?
False.
Correct. It loses almost $200. Ham is in the lead.
I just had to
Cozy.
re-say what you said because I know you be saying some bullshit.
Cozy, God of War 2018 sold 3 million copies in its first 3 days of being available on PC. True or false?
False?
It's actually true. Damn, Cozy's betting for like minus 100. Cassie, at the Q2 earnings report, it was stated that Sony's PS Plus subscribers are down 4%. True or false?
True.
Correct.
Okay.
Cassie now has two level with Ham. Ham Solo. At the Q2 earnings report, it was stated that Sony's software sales are down 15%. True or false?
True.
False. They're down 18%. It's
Oh,
worse than we
damn.
might. Yes, it's pretty bad. Cozy, God of War Ragnarok is the 9th entry in the franchise. True or false?
True.
Correct. Cozy finally on the board. Look at you batting for 200. Cassie, there are a total of 9 Valkyries to defeat in God of War 2018. True or false?
Oh shit. True.
Correct. Cassie
Wow.
is in the lead.
Didn't even play get that
Ham,
far.
Ham Solo. Sony recently announced that the PS5 has sold 30 million units worldwide. True or false?
False.
Correct. 25 million. 3-all. Cozy. The 2019 reboot of 2007's Modern Warfare released to sales of in excess of $600 million in the first month of its release. True or false?
True.
False. It made that money in 3 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Cozy's officially out of the running to even draw today. Cassie, Modern Warfare 2 was released on October 28th, 2022. True or false?
True.
Correct. Woo! Ham Solo. You about to let another guest win. If you get this wrong, we're gonna add Cassie to K Mega, Daniel Haythorne, and Strawbecker. So we're gonna have 4 guests that have actually won quiz time.
Okay.
Ham, are you ready?
Sure. Hit me with some bullshit,
20
Loke. I know you got it. Go ahead
Yeah,
and do it. Look
that's
at
all
him.
he does. He gives you the
ready.
most bullshit.
He's ready.
It's going to be
He's
something
got-
like tricky, and there's going to be
It's
one
gonna
word
be
off
some
in it, and you're going to
bullshit.
miss
Let's
that
go, Loke.
word.
Come on.
Stop
That's
Go
how-
ahead and do
bullshit.
it.
That's
All
how
right,
Loke
let's go
does
to the
it.
chat. Let's go to the chat real quick. Let's
Why are
build
you trying
some-
to string this
some
along?
tension.
No.
Let's
No,
build
go
some
back to the
tension.
question.
Trying to get the heat
Black
off of it.
James says Loke is filthy for that. LMAO. Yeah, dude. Filthy. Yobi says that's my answer. 89.95. All right, so your answer is disqualified. Doomsday, what's up, everyone? Loke, don't be late. Dude, I'm trying. I'm freaking trying. Ushers lol, this quiz is a step up from that Yakuza trivia from last week. Just say you need to play some games,
Facts.
Ushers. Play some freaking games.
Facts.
All right.
No, Asha's spitting.
Doomsayer says, Loke,
Question
why are you
last week
asking
was suspect.
Cozy to answer COD questions? She don't even play games. All right. Cozy is just Mario, and that's it. Okay, Ham Solo. This is for the draw.
Okay.
The 2019 reboot of 2007's Modern Warfare released on October 24th, 2019. True.
Oh shit. His camera went out right when he said that. He said October 25th of 2019. Is that what he said? I don't remember. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
All
hear you.
right. Shit. Like
I just
don't-
froze.
Okay, you're back.
All right, you're back.
Re-ask the question.
Did I just freeze?
You're back.
You did
Okay.
freeze for
All right. Ham, I'm going to read this real slow. The 2019 reboot of 2007's Modern Warfare released on October 24th, 2019. True or false?
True.
It's false. It released on October 25th.
Oh, you piece of
Dang!
shit. See, I knew he was gonna do
That's
some
messed
piece of
up.
shit
See,
stuff.
see, that's how he does it. That's always
Yeah.
how he does it. And then when he acts, then he
Dang.
plays all instant, like little old me. Like, yeah, bullshit. We know you.
That's
Depends on what time zone you're in. Technically,
Oh,
that's right.
man.
Cozy.
Cozy.
Yeah.
Cozy. This one's the last one for you. Captain Jack Price is the main protagonist in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. True or false?
You're an ass. True.
What else is new? All right, Cozy. Yeah, that was correct.
Oh.
So, ladies and gents, it's been 8 weeks. We finally have a new winner. Cassie Cage. All right, so what we usually do is
Yay.
Why you keep asking me Call of Duty questions?
ask the pin, Cozy. The sequence was already set. Just ask the pin. Anyway, Cassie, what we usually do is the winner gets 1 minute to rant about whatever they want to talk about in the world of gaming. So knock yourself out. The timer is going to be set in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so I guess I'll continue my rant from what I was having last night. Game journalists need to stop fucking shitting on Bayonetta for being pretty. Journalists are I'm convinced they're all fat and ugly, and they look at Bayonetta and they see her as the most pristine human being on planet Earth, and they apparently have a problem with it. And I think that they need to fucking stop. They need it. It's been, let's see, Bayonetta 1 came out in like 2009, so it's been like 12 fucking years, and I think it's just time to move the fuck on and have real conversations about gaming. Because every time a new Bayonetta game comes out, bitching and moaning about how she's overly sexualized is just not an acceptable argument anymore. We're over it. Please stop. Can we please have real conversations? Bayonetta was designed by a woman. Any argument that these people have is just garbage, and I'm tired of it. So please, can we be out with the garbage? This is my problem with games journalism.
Time. And with that, oh man, I'm so with you. I am so with you.
Thank you.
Jesus. People need to stop being jelly, y'all. Stop being jelly. Anyway, before we close the show out with my final rant, Cassie, can you tell people where they can find you, plug your YouTube channel, etc., etc.?
So pretty much, if you want to hang out with me anywhere, if it be Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, it's Cult Classic Cage. It's the same thing across the board. YouTube is pretty much my main platform. I love to talk about gaming or films or anime, basically just all the stuff that I'm personally into. If you guys are into anything that I'm into, hey, it makes for good conversation. If you want to recommend stuff, I'm always open to that as well. And it's just a good time. The great thing about having done YouTube for a little over a year now is that I've cultivated a great community that I enjoy, and I've gotten to meet awesome people such as all three of you, and I'm really grateful for that. And also everyone in the chat, really good people. I've had conversations in the chat with Stegma a few times, so definitely it's good to see familiar faces, and always cool to have good conversations. So thank you guys so much for having me. It was a fun time, honestly. So.
Dope. I just want to throw it out there real quick that I did put her link in the chat. So if you guys want to tap on that link and go hit that subscribe button, help her stay over that 1,000. Keep them haters away that want to, hit that unsubscribe
haters, shake them
all of a sudden.
On the way to
and you guys, like, honestly, chat, any way you can support these guys, they are killing it. I really like the channel. I think you guys have unique ideas, and just you add unique conversation to the gaming community. So definitely love to show support, and I love to be here, honestly. Yeah, really, seriously, it's love all around. So definitely any support is always, I love to see it, even when it doesn't benefit me in any way, just benefits good people.
Yeah,
boy, that was fun.
Stankboy in the chat says that this panel is essentially Thanos getting all the stones. It is perfection.
Hey,
it is literally perfection,
including the family stones. Never mind.
I don't know. I don't know if we can afford. I don't know if we can afford Cassie's weekly fee, but we'll figure it out with the accountants. On to my final rant. God of War Ragnarok is a day one for me but I'll be done with it in 1 week. The story might be great, but I'd be lying if I said I was expecting something worth replaying. I won't be playing Ragnarok for over a month like Elden Ring, thinking about it at work as I make a report and file purchases. That won't happen, and it will not be spoken about until the end of this generation. It was built to run on the base PS4, so keep that in mind. And for those reasons, I don't think it should be Game of the Year. Let's all enjoy Ragnarok for what it is. A very, very good game. Nothing more. That's it.
It's definitely some salt.